Welcome to the Restart Your Career Journey, Activity 1 from the Career Cafe. And now, this used to be the 5-day challenge from improving performance. And the aim of these 5 days of activity is to help you to understand exactly where you are and where you want to be with your job and your career by stating your passion and your purpose, which is Activity 1 and today's task. Now, the reason that I say today is that if you take action now, you increase your chances of getting where you want to be right now, rather than you keep putting it off, procrastinating. Now, during the activities, you'll understand the strategic and the tactical steps that you need to take in order to put yourself in a position to secure your dream role. You'll learn how to stand out from the masses on those hideous recruitment sites, and you'll improve your chances of securing an interview. What you'll also do is learn tips and hacks that put you into a much greater position and increase your chances as a candidate. And that's our aim, isn't it? To demonstrate that you're a better option than the other candidate on paper. And I want you to have the confidence to apply for your dream role. And you'll have that if you do the steps that we go through across the 5 activities. There'll be tasks for you to improve your job application situation. Now, look, you can go online and you can get some of this stuff from YouTube, from LinkedIn, and most people will just Google it, or you can get it from your friend or a mate or a colleague or anything like that. But here's the thing, none of them are me. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I do know some stuff. Now, my skill combined with the experience that I have is what makes this challenge, or these 5 days of activity, unique. And this is interactive. Plus, I am kind of awesome as well. So let's get into it. I'm Reg Gosling, and I'm a coach specializing in career advance and career development. And I've enjoyed a fabulous career as a professional sales contributor and a sales leader with one of the nation's largest corporate enterprises. Everything I learned about career advance and career development whilst I was there has massively helped me in my career. And now it's helping me with helping others to get where they want to be. And I learned an extreme load of stuff. And after 30 something, I don't want to sound like an old person, but after 30 years, I left and I joined a small and medium enterprise. And there were lots and lots of different pressures on people and on the business. So there was lots to learn there too. So I've been on both sides of that particular spectrum, in the small to medium enterprise space and in the corporate world. And I want to give as much of what I learned to you. I don't want to leave anything on the table at all. So I'm talking to you as an expert in many areas of career advance and career development based on what I know. It's not free. You're giving your time. So that in itself is an investment on your part. So let's get into it. This is activity 1 of this 5 activity. Let's call it a challenge just for the purpose of this. And the first question for you is this. Yes, sorry. What's the job that you want and why do you want it? What is the job that you want and why do you want it? What's the benefit, the win payoff that you will achieve if you secure it? Call it whatever you're comfortable with calling it, your reason, your purpose, your why. Now, your purpose may be defined if it's a career, if it's something that you studied and you qualified for and you're passionate about it. It could be vocational, if you like. It could be that you've got a job that has a purpose with a more practical outcome, like paying the bills or looking after somebody. But what if you don't know what you want? What happens if you don't know what you want, or what job you want, or you don't know what your purpose is, or you don't know what's next for you? That's always a challenge for people. What problems does this cause you? How does not knowing make you feel? I need to take a sip. Better. How does it make you feel? Right. So if you don't know, one of the best ways to find out what you want to do is to find your purpose, your passion, your reason to get up in the morning. How do you, or why do you get up with a spring in your step? Well, you do that to do something that you're really, really passionate about. So what does that look like? Understanding or finding your purpose or your passion results in you living a more meaningful life, enjoying your job, a greater job satisfaction compared to those that don't have real purpose in their life. Start with asking yourself some key questions, okay? Is what you're doing satisfying? Ignore the pay slip and the bills that you've got that come through all the time. Do you get a buzz out of getting up every morning to go to work because you're really, really, really looking forward to it? How do you feel on Sunday evenings, assuming that your working week starts on a Monday? Do you dread getting up in the morning, or does Monday excite you? This morning, it's Monday today. I woke this morning and I really couldn't be bothered, so I work from home. I am still passionate about what I do. I can go into London, or I can do it from home. I have lots of things that I do. So what are you passionate about? And if you don't know, consider those questions. And what questions do people ask you? You know, when you're with your friends or your colleagues or your family, people come to you for advice, right? Why you? Why do they come to you? And what kind of questions do they ask you? Are they in the same kind of area? Are they about the same topics? Are they about the same kinds of problems? Well, those questions or those topics could hold clues as to your actual purpose. And it doesn't have to be centered around your job, although I guess it could be. Once people discover the topics that you know really, really well, it doesn't really, really matter whether you're at work or not. You'll get many, many questions because they know that you're the go-to person for whatever reason. So write down, start noticing what you're noticing, and write down as many of those questions that they ask you as you can. Is there a clue there? When you're trying to determine your purpose, you can use those as a guide to help you to look for answers. Right now, you may want some inspiration, I guess. So what did you do? What did you want to do when you were 16 and about to leave school? Or were you studying at school? What was it that you were passionate about that you thought, I'm going to do this when I leave school? Was it something you were passionate about, or was it something that you were told that you had to do because your parents wanted you to do it? You know, like parental pressure. My parents wanted me and my brother to be a doctor and a lawyer. They must be gutted. I know a few people that are estate agents, for example, and some of them wanted to be estate agents, and that's absolutely fine. And many of them found themselves there, and they absolutely love it. Now, what it doesn't mean is that it was something that they were passionate about in the beginning, okay? Very few people leave school with the aspiration or the desire to become sales professionals, but they find that they have a particular skill or a certain way with people. So let me use myself as an example. I wanted to be a draftsman when I was at school. For those of you that are not of a certain vintage, a draftsman was something that people used to do before graphic design was invented. They'd do it on a big table with a big T-square and lots of protractors and pencils. I know it's very old school, but I wanted to be one of those. And I went through all my third, fourth, and fifth years in secondary school. So what would that be? Third, fourth, and fifth years? Year 9, year 10, and 11. And I took the required subjects to get my qualifications to be a draftsman. When I started work, I started in the drawing office for about 6 months over near London Bridge. Near London Bridge. And things happened to take me away from that. It was boring. Oh my God, it was boring. It was boring making tea and getting drawings from the giant drawers. They had these big drawers. You pull out what looked like tracing paper, and you had to pull out a drawing because they were all numbered. Plus, I was distracted by shiny stuff. Nothing's changed there. Now, I was young, but clearly not passionate about pursuing this as a career. And many people who are passionate about what they do and have purpose in their careers and their lives are doing the things that they love now. They're actually doing them, especially many people that are self-employed, because let's face it, that's why they are self-employed. Now, what else was there? Cool. Pay attention to your daydreams. They might hold the key. I'll give you an example. If you've always wanted to start your own yoga company and that's all you're dreaming about, that's a random thing to come into my head, a yoga company, you might find this to be in the content of your daydream. So pay attention to that. Question yourself and then write it down. If you truly want to start a company, learn what steps you need to take. So once you've written it down, learn what steps you need to take. Go find out. I'm just using that as an example. But when you have daydreams, try writing down the detail on a notepad that you remember. And you can do this on a smart device or anything like that. Just write down what comes into your head. You're under no obligation to follow it through or pursue it. But just write it down so that you can see what the pattern is. But for the purpose of this specific activity, here's the question I'm asking you. What is it that you want to do? What role is it that you want to apply for? Okay. What is it that you want to do? What kind of role is it that you want? I want you to be laser focused and be specific about the role that you want. And specifically, or specificity, as they say, what industry? Retail, IT, leisure, legal, social care, that kind of thing. Get into the detail, the umbrella, and then get into the detail of what specific role that you're after. Where is it? Think about how you're going to get there. So think about the role, think about where it's going to be, think about how you're going to get there. If you're applying for a role, what kind of conditions do you want to work in? You know, everybody wants to work from home at the moment. Since the pandemic, all we see at the business that I'm working with is people that want to do remote work because it fits in with childcare, it fits in with A, B, C, or D. These things were available before pandemic, but it seems to have opened up since the pandemic because people have seen a different way of working. How far do you want to travel? Are you happy to spend 2 hours a day or more traveling on public transport? Or do you want to travel in a car? Or do you want to travel on a train? Do you want to travel on a tram? Do you want to go by taxi? Do you want to walk? Do you want to cycle? So many different things that you need to consider. So think about how far you want to travel. Think about where you want to travel to. What kind of company do you want to work for? What size of company? How much autonomy do you want? What do you not want in the job? When I say what do you not want, I'm thinking things like, do you like shift work? Do you not like shift work? Do you want diversity in what you're doing? Not diversity in the company, diversity in the work that you're doing. Do you want too much diversity or too little diversity? Do you want to do stuff that's repetitive? Do you want a lot of noise? Do you not like too much noise when you're working? Do you want to be on your feet all day? Like I said, I want you to be laser focused on this. Trust the process. You could be spending something like 42%. I've got it written down, so I'm not going to pretend that I'm making that up. You could be spending 42% or more of your week doing this job. So you really need to consider a job that you will enjoy and you will experience personal growth with and personal development with. So what have we covered? Yep, you need to decide what you want with some real intent. Look for something that you're passionate about. And if you can't find what you're passionate about, consider your purpose. Why you want that particular role? What will be the benefits of you having that particular role? What will be the benefits to you? What will be the benefits to your family? What specifically do you want to do? Who do you want to do it for? What type of role? How much salary? I didn't even mention salary. How much do you want to get paid? Where do you want to work? Why do you want to work in this industry? Really flesh it out. What you don't want to do is just go to a job, because the most boring thing you'll ever do is just get up and go for a job that you hate. Like I said, it's 40% of your week. You'll be annoyed. Now, if you already know what you want to do, that's absolutely perfect. And that's great. And you should still go through this process, though, because you might have been doing something for the last 20 years and you love it, but there might be something even better out there. I'm not saying you should jump ship, but this is a process we should all go through. Yep, I'm going through it myself with lots of other bits and pieces. So what does it cement in your mind now? Why do you want this role? There's no right and there's no wrong. Just know. And when you've got all of this information, what do you need to do with it? It's not as simple as you might think, when you've got this information. Remember, it's all about standing out. So that's the end of your task for this first activity. Now, there's a workbook for you to work through, and it's there in the comments. Okay, it's there in the comments, and there's some, I might put it in the file as well. I'm not sure how you access it, but it's there. So if you're accessing this through YouTube, you will find the comment, the file you'll find the file, the workbook one for activity one. If you're on social media like Facebook, it'll be in the comments, and I'll be looking at the comments. So if anybody wants any help, just ask the question, it'll be there. If there are any, I will do the odd social media live, and then I've got a list of FAQs where I've done this before when it was the 5-day challenge. So I'll just repeat some of those questions, and then I'll answer it, and that'll be a Facebook Live that's on here that you can go back to. So this Facebook page or this Facebook group will have 5 workbooks, 5 videos, yep, and some questions and answers, and it will never grow bigger than that. So you'll always be able to go in, get what you want, and get out. Okay, so get cracking. It shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes to have a look through the workbook. And the link to the workbook, as I said, is in the comments. Take that first step. Remember, it's what you do next that counts. Thank you.